Alright. So next part, Peter is mad at Mary.
Peter looks like he is threatening Mary.
Peter was definitely one of Mary's detractors. After Jesus died and was reborn, there were many debates over who should continue his church. But Mary can tell you that in her own words. Here, read this passage from her Gospel.
And Peter said, "Did the Saviour really speak with a woman without our knowledge? Are we to turn about and all listen to her? Did he prefer her to us?" And Levi answered, "Peter, you have always been hot-tempered. Now I see you contending against the woman like an adversary. If the Saviour made her worthy, who are you indeed to reject her? Surely the Saviour knows her very well. That is why he loved her more than us." So Peter disliked her because Jesus favored Mary over him?
Not only that, the stakes were far greater than mere affection. At this point in the Gospels, Jesus suspects he will soon be captured and crucified. So he gives Mary Magdalene instructions on how to carry on his church after he is gone. As a result, Peter expresses his discontent over playing second fiddle to a woman. I dare say Peter was something of a sexist.
This is St. Peter, the rock upon which Jesus built his church.
The same, except for one catch. According to these unaltered Gospels, it was not Peter to whom Christ gave directions with which to establish the Christian church. It was Mary Magdalene.
You are saying the Christian church was to be carried on by a woman?
That was the plan. Jesus was the original feminist. He intended for the future of his church to be in the hands of his wife.
You guys remember in the movie there is actually, it shows who's actually creeping up on the house, so you should realize who it is. Now the next part is the Grail again.
Earlier you mentioned that the Sangreal documents told the true story of Christ.
Ah, you remember? Yes, but as we discussed before, Sangreal derives from San Greal, or Holy Grail. But in its most ancient form, the word Sangreal was divided in a different spot.
Sangreal.
Which translates to royal blood.
Precisely.
But whose blood? Christ's?
I believe there's at least one more clue to be had in the Last Supper.
Yes, there is some parts to this. The last one is Jesus and Mary.
Mary seems to have nearly as much attention from the apostles as Jesus.
I should hope so. She was a very important woman. Few people realize that Mary Magdalene, in addition to being Christ's right hand, was a powerful woman already.
I was under the impression that Magdalene was poor.
Just as many people think Jesus was poor. Yet he was of the house of David, descendant of King Solomon, king of the Jews. Mary was of the house of Benjamin, also of royal descent. Magdalene was recast as a whore to erase her powerful bloodlines.
But why should the early church care if Magdalene had royal blood?
My dear child, it was not Mary Magdalene's royal blood that concerned the church so much as it was her consorting with Christ. By marrying into the powerful house of Benjamin, Jesus fused two royal bloodlines, creating a potent political union with the potential of making a legitimate claim to the throne and restoring the line of kings as it was under Solomon. The legend of the Holy Grail is a legend about royal blood. The Grail legend speaks of the chalice that held the blood of Christ. It speaks, in fact, of Mary Magdalene, the female womb that carried Jesus' royal bloodline.
Bum, bum, bum.
But how could Christ have a bloodline
Unless they had a child.
Behold the greatest cover-up in human history. Not only was Jesus Christ married, but he was a father. My dear, Mary Magdalene was the holy vessel. She was the chalice that bore the royal bloodline of Jesus Christ. She was the womb that bore the lineage, and the vine from which the sacred fruit sprang forth.
Then there must be some way to trace the family line.
Precisely what the Priory of Sinai has been keeping secret for hundreds of years. Sophie, your grandfather may have been the last man to know the secret lineage of Jesus Christ's bloodline.
Is that why he was killed?
We may never know exactly why someone would murder your grandfather in cold blood.
So I'm gonna start solving this but I'm not going to completely solve it because after that there's a really large cutscene. But the answer is Madeline. Now before I solve this, I'm going to stop it here and you'll see the whole thing next part. So